Okay, so we're going to do the quiz question that goes with the biology project. And on this one, we're going to take a screenshot of the data and we're going to enter this into Excel. Unfortunately, you can't copy and paste it. And the reason we can't copy and paste it is because the formatting and it gets, the way the student one here is merged and centered. So what I want to encourage you to do is we're going to do a quick table because this is a quiz question and you don't have to save it. We're not going to spend too long formatting it. I'm going to do it in a way that it'll allow you enter the data quickly. So we have our antibiotic here, which is the positive control. Then we have tea tree and we have lemon. And you'll notice I'm starting with the treatments because if I don't, and I start with student 1 and 2 and start merging and centering it, it will knock on effect down here. Then you'll notice that with the replicate, there's two, it's repeated twice. So we have A, B for each student. And I'm going to put student 1 here. And then if we go to student 2, I'm just going, again, we're not going to format it perfectly. We're just going to have A, B, B. And then we have student 3, and we have A, B, B. And this will help us entering the data. So just going to make all of this a table. So I'm going to go for these all borders here. And then I'm going to merge and center the student 1 here. And this is the merge and center button. And what we want to do is maybe draw a strong border around each one of the students so we can see the cutoff point so that when we're entering our data that it's clear where we're putting it in. So you'll see every one of the students use the positive control. So we'll just put in our values. We have 4, 12, 6, 11, 14, 15, 18, 11, 10. I just want to check, am I doing this right? 4, 12, 6, 11, 14, 15, 18. Okay, and I dropped one here. So then it should be 15, 11, and then we have 10 here, 11, and 9. That's our positive control. Then student 2 tried using tea tree. So the values that they got were 13, 7, 2, and 8. And then student 2 used lemon. So the values that they had were 3, 4, and these are the inhibition sizes around on the E. coli. And then we have lavender. Student 1 tried this. So we have 4, 3, 0, and 4. And then everyone tried the negative control, which was the sterile water, and we'd expect that to have no effect. So we've recreated the table. We can merge and center these if we want to, but because it's just a quiz and we're not saving it, there's no real need to do that. So what we're being asked to do now is fill in the values A, B, C, and D, and E, and F in our table, or in a new table. So we have to use Excel to calculate this. So I'm going to copy this down here. And then I'm going to take just the headings from the quiz question so that you don't have to type them all out again. If you take all of the bits, unfortunately, it won't format properly. So we have these in here. Now we're going to do our sums, our calculations. So the first thing we want to do is work out, and we can check if we're on track or not because a lot of the table has actually been filled in already. So I'm also going to take a screenshot of this. And if we're getting similar values, I'm going to make this big now here. If we're getting similar values here, we know that we're doing this correctly. So the first value is looking for the average halo size in millimeters, which means we're looking for the average size of the halo caused by the antibiotic. So we press equal to tell them that it's the mean or average. We type in average, we double click, highlight the cells and enter. And because we've done that for one row, we can autofill it and it will complete it for the others. So remember, you just wait to change. And then we can bring that to 0 decimal places. And you can see that the values are very similar here to what's in Moodle, 11, 8. And then we know that we have to fill in this value here, which is 2. I'm just going to highlight the ones that we're going to have to fill in. So that's 2, and then 3 and 0. So we have the right formula in there. The next one is the standard deviation. So we're going to type in equal to and standard deviation, and it's a sample. So we're going to double click on that. Again, we're going to just do it for the antibiotic. Press enter, autofill down, and bring it to 0 decimal places. And again, you can have a look to see 4, 5, and this is the one we're looking for here. And so that will be our value for B, and 2 and 0. So that looks correct. The next one is the number of replicates. So we can see that there was one used here everyone used the antibiotic and everyone uses sterile water. So we use the function equal to count to see how many were there. So we'd expect to have 12 of these because everyone used it, and we do. And we can autofill down, and you'll see that there's 4 samples of each of the other ones and 12 of the water. The number of them that are positive. So we're using the formula, we count if it's greater than 0. So equal to, and then we're saying count, and we're using the count if one here. Count if, and if our antibiotic values are greater than 0, we need to do a comma, inverted commas, and then say greater than 0, and then inverted commas, close brackets. So count it if they're greater than 0. Now, all of these were greater than 0, so we can see that they were all positive. And then we scroll, autofill down, and we see that none of the sterile waters has a positive effect, and that's why that's counting that to be 0. The next one is the percentage effectiveness. And again, if we wanted to just check if we're on track, we can see that the 12.4, and we're going to be filling in for the lavender oil in our quiz here, this one. So that's this one here that we're filling in. So C here, and it's lavender oil. The percentage effect here is 3 here. That's what we're filling in. All of the formula, by the way, are given to you in Excel functions or on top of your journal. We have all of the formulas that are used here. So that's the count if, the count, and now we're doing this one, positive effect. So the positive effect means the number of positives over the number of total replicates multiplied by 100. So it's going to be equal to the positive, which is this one, divided by the total number, star 100. And we can autofill these down to show that the antibiotic was 100% effective and the sterile water had 0 effectiveness. Now we're going to see which ones had a negative effect. So let's say equal to, and again, we're going to count if, and instead of saying greater than 0 for like we did for positive, we're going to say if it's equal to. So we count if, we highlight our data, we press enter to tell the criteria, inverted commas, and if it's equal to 0, then we're going to say it had a negative effect. So we can see that the sterile water had a negative effect, and we can see here that that's the opposite for the antibiotic. Again, if you want to look at this chart just to see if you're on track, we were looking for the percentage positive effects of lavender. So I'm going to highlight that. This is the one we're filling in here, E. And you can see the other values are correct around it, so you know you're doing the right thing. There was nothing required here. We didn't have to fill anything in here, but we have the same values. Remember, this is taken from the Moodle quiz question. Now we're going to see what the percentage effect is. So we're going to say equal to, and it's count if, sorry, it's not. It's going to be this time equal to the total number of negative effects divided by the total number that we had, star 100. And again, we're going to autofill this down. And you can see that these readings are the same as we have here in the table, or are they? There seems to be something slightly different on this one here. So I'll have to check that myself. Okay, the last question here is the percentage effectiveness. So when we're looking at the percentage effectiveness, what we're going to do is we are going to put, this is the one that catches student out. We're going to see how effective each of these treatments are relative to the antibiotic, which is the positive control. So it's going to be equal to the mean of the antibiotic over the mean of the antibiotic, because this is our control, star 100. So we can see that's 100% effective. The next one is going to be the mean of the tea tree divided by the mean of the antibiotic, star 100. The next one is equal to the mean of the lemon divided by the mean of the antibiotic, star 100. This one here is equal to the mean of the lavender divided by the mean of the antibiotic, star 100. And remember, it's the relative effectiveness. So that's why we're going relative to the positive control, which is the antibiotic. And this one is equal to the mean of the water divided by the mean of the control, star 100. And again, we can tidy these up so that it has 0 decimal places. Say okay here. Okay. And again, this should reflect the table here. So I think there must be some typo here in this, and I'll have to check it. But this is the one we're interested in here. So we're looking for F, which is 24. So you can go back to your quiz question and you can enter. We'll just make these so that you can see it fairly clearly side by side. So we put in 2 for this one. We put in 2 for this one, 4 here, 3 here, 75 here for the percentage effectiveness, and 24 here for this one. And we should be able to submit and finish. And we got all of those right. So hopefully that will help you with the quiz. It is a little bit of a time consuming one, so you need to start practicing because you need to be able to do this for your mastery quiz and for the exam in week 6. Hope this helps.